years old. Jolene with a rockin' rendition of the national anthem. We thank you so much, Jolene, for being with us tonight at Franklin County Speedway. Folks, we are almost ready for driver intros here today for the Kinney Minter Classic. And a beautiful day it is over Southwest Virginia. You see the mountains beyond the racetrack. This is a special place for Southern Modified Racing, and this one will be electrifying tonight. I'm Bob Diller. Alongside of me is Will Battershell. And Will, how pumped up are you for 110 laps for the Smart Mods tonight?
I am so excited. This is such a fast and racy racetrack, and the drivers really have to handle the cars. So it's going to be really, really fun to watch how these drivers just handle these beasts that they're driving around this track. And there's so many fun names to have too. It is 76 degrees as the sun is setting over the Appalachian Mountains. The lineup today is a very exciting one as Carter McMurray redrew in the first position.
You know, so many storylines as we come into tonight's race, and a nice field of 20 modifieds here for the Kinney Minter Classic, and this one will be spectacular here. One of the drivers that everybody's talking about is in the 16 VA with Pace-O-Matic on the side, black and yellow car right around the start-finish line here of this beautiful facility. And we're talking about a Daytona 500 winner, a 7-time NASCAR Cup Series winner, Jamie McMurray, making his first Tour-type modified start. I just spoke to Jamie. He's excited about this racetrack. He tested here yesterday, and he was a little concerned because he wasn't happy with where he was with his race car. But, man, they've turned things around. He had a really good qualifying effort in the 9th spot, and he's got a good shot here tonight at a very good finish.
Yeah, that 16 VA is very, very fast, and I think one thing I'm really excited for is just he is nervous for the start, and that is so cool to hear a NASCAR driver with all that experience is nervous because of how aggressive these starts are going to be.
And the funny thing is with Jamie McMurray, Ryan Newman kind of psyched him out a little bit. He was telling us, said, man, you're not going to be able to breathe. It's so exhilarating. And he said, you know what, maybe that actually helped him prepare. And his teammate, Jamie McMurray's at this racetrack today, is a guy that has been very good here at Franklin County Speedway, and that is Luke Baldwin. Baldwin, the 2-time and defending series champion, will line up on the outside of row number 2 in that Pace-O-Matic 7 VA for Hermie Sadler and Senator Stanley. Luke Baldwin, 3 races here, 3 runner-up finishes, 3 pole positions. He was fast time qualifier today and the winner of the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award. Luke Baldwin has done just about everything at this racetrack but win. And it was oh so close in this race 1 year ago. Luke Baldwin losing that checkered flag to Ryan Newman, who starts just behind him today by 0.016 seconds. The closest finish ever in the history of the Smart Modified Tour right here at Franklin County Speedway.
And Baldwin's needed some momentum, especially with how his season has started. And we saw it today. They got that little break, and fastest in practice, fastest in qualifying. Unfortunately, the redraw didn't go his way as he redrew 4th. So it's going to be interesting to watch that 7 VA tonight.
It's interesting to go through this field and see some new names, and one of them actually making a return to the Smart Modified Tour finds himself a little bit further back than he would have liked to have qualified because he was a really good qualifier back here. Track record holder right there on the right side of your screen, James Savali behind the wheel of the Hillbilly Racing Ride. He was just talking to Ryan Flores, who will run in the Carolina Crate Modified Series a little bit later on tonight. Flores, a winner down at New Smyrna Speedway during Florida Speed Weeks. Skip, say hello to everybody to the Flow Racing cameras. He's not listening to us, but that's okay. We love Skip. We love James Savali as well. James is a hard-nosed racer, and he's making a return here to Franklin County Speedway because he loves this racetrack. It fits his driving style. But how about this? I talked to James down in the pit area right before qualifying, and in all of practice, he had to race that car one-handed because his other hand was on the shift lever because that car would not stay in gear. That team had to put a new transmission in that ride before qualifying, and now James Savali is one that I expect to be charging through the field.
It's going to be a fun one to watch for sure, especially now that he doesn't have to worry about that transmission, hopefully. So watch for that white 79 to fly through the field tonight. It's going to be a really, really fun one. I am super excited.
You take a look at everybody filing into this racetrack, a large crowd on hand, and one of the reasons, quite possibly, is that the Smart Modified Tour, the Carolina Crate Series, the Crown Vic Outlaw Super Series, the only race scheduled at Franklin County Speedway in Callaway, Virginia, this entire year. The fate of this racetrack, up in the air a little bit. But this one, a lot of people that are coming in right now with that long line and that are here will be treated to something special here tonight.
It is so cool to see such a good crowd show up and try to support this racetrack because it races so well, and we're going to see that tonight with the modifieds on just how good of a show they're going to put on.
And thank you to Carolina Drilling and CitraSafe Grill Cleaner for the drone coverage. There is the number 1 machine. You see its driver at the back bumper of that race car, talking to his brother Jason. Jason, a longtime competitor with the Smart Modified Tour. His brother Bert behind the wheel of the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners machine. And you can see Jason is dressed like he normally would when he's the crew chief for Slate Myers, his nephew. But tonight, Jason is with his kids in the grandstand hanging out because young Slate Myers is not here. They withdrew that number 4 car, and it's the first time since the mid-90s that a number 4 car won't be in the starting lineup, and that dates back to Gary Myers, Bert and Jason's dad. So really interesting not to have that number 4 car, but Slate Myers has a great opportunity next week to go fendered racing, back behind the wheel of a stock car in a limited late model at Ace Speedway next Friday night. Slate Myers is here in attendance, winner at Bowman Gray Stadium in the NASCAR Modified competition a couple of weeks ago, but his dad keeping the Myers legacy alive and well. Burt Myers comes into this race 4th in the series standings and has a very good starting spot here tonight in the 8th spot.
It's going to be really fun to watch. Burt Myers has been really, really consistent. Just needs a little bit more to get that win, but it's so much fun to see that one car run so well.
You see the car to the inside, another number 1 machine, the Mount Airy Toyota machine for Jake Crum. And Jake Crum has a new nickname. No longer is he Jake the Snake after some of the up and down bad luck he's had this season.
Yeah, Jake 3 Grooves after the controversy that he ran into with Burt Myers, who's on his outside. It's crazy how racing works when they made a little bit of contact, but also that paint scheme kind of plays into that name a little bit.
You see Jake talking to his wife, Annabeth, at the front nose of that race car. Interesting thing, on the nose piece, it says the Dark Knight as well. And the story behind this paint scheme, which is a little bit different for Jake Crum here, that fluorescent yellow as well as the black, comes from him watching the Dark Knight Batman movie with his daughter.
And I'm a big Batman guy, so it's so cool to see. That car is going to look beautiful as the sun sets under the lights.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet your starting lineup today for the Kenny Minter Classic 110 laps for the Smart Modified Tour. Starting at the tail end of this field, 20th in the starting lineup here today, a former top 10 finisher and the king of the modifieds at South Boston Speedway. It's the 22 of Jason Tutterow. To his inside, the Carolina Drilling Barrier Farms teammate to Jason Tutterow in the number 21 car out of Reedy Creek, North Carolina. It's the nice guy, Jimmy Wallace. Starting in 18th, driver of the number 45 NC. He hails from Long Island, New York, and a crate modified winner at Riverhead Raceway. Put your hands together for Mad Max Hanley. To his inside, a driver from the Pennsylvania Posse, former winner on the Race of Champions Modified Series, the number 5 of Kyle Ebersol. It's an all-hillbilly next row. Starting on the outside of row number 8 out of Connecticut. In the 79, you see Walkertown Mill on the side of that race car as well as Sundrop. First, James Savali. He looks excited. On the inside, his full-time teammate at Hillbilly Racing, full-time competitor with the Smart Modified Tour, winner at Coastal Plains Raceway last year in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's J-Cash, Jonathan Cash. Starting 14th, one of the 4 Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year contenders this year. In the Honda of Concord, number 14, this driver, a former track champion at Hickory Motor Speedway, it's Austin McDaniel. Third in points is the driver that starts 13th here today. In the Stoke Shoes 7NY out of Mooresville, North Carolina, Jack Baldwin. Starting 12th, top 5 in points as well. Led a bunch of laps here at Franklin County Speedway last year. Out of Matterville, Long Island, New York, in the number 24 Amerifast Supply of North Carolina machine, it's Joey Braun. To his inside in spot number 11. Another one of those Rookie of the Year contenders. In the number 77, a former road racer turned modified hotshot with 2 top 5 finishes this year for Will Lambros. Starting 10th in the Gray Ghost 02 out of Miami Springs, Florida. A former winner in the NASCAR Truck Series, it's Joey Coulter. To his inside, making his first Tour-type modified start. A former Daytona 500 winner, now turned modified competitor with the Smart Modified Tour, it's Jamie McMurray. On the outside of row number 4, he'll line up 8th out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. A champion in the NASCAR Will and Southern Modified Tour, the Smart Modified Tour, and many times at Bowman Gray Stadium, it's the ace, Burt Myers. To his inside in spot number 7. The driver originally hailing from Newport, Tennessee. Top 10 in points, looking for his first Smart Modified Tour win for the Dark Knight, Jake Crum. Starting 6th, the defending winner of the Kinney Minter Classic and the Bass Pro Shops number 2 machine for former Daytona 500 winner, the Rocket Man Ryan Newman. To the inside sits Team 25. And this car, not just because of its blue paint scheme, has been electric this year. The number 25 out of Freehold, New Jersey, a 3-time winner this year, it's Danny Bone. On the outside of row number 2, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner here today. A 3-time runner-up finisher in the Smart Modified Tour of Franklin County Speedway, the 7VA for Luke Baldwin. On the inside in spot number 3, this kid has been ultra quick as well. A podium finish already this year for the rookie, the Mac Attack, Sean McIlerney. And now let's meet your front row. Starting 2nd in the Polaris Off-Road 04 car, a 2-time NASCAR modified champion at Bowman Gray Stadium, it's Brandon Ward. And leading the field to the green flag with Bass Pro Shops and HendrickCars.com on board with him. He's a sophomore driver with the Smart Modified Tour and the number 40 machine for teenager Carter McMurray. How about father and son racing together? And Carter's son gets the advantage, that check mark for out-qualifying his dad today at Franklin County.
And if he finishes ahead of his dad, too, that's some major bragging rights that Carter will have. So that's going to be a fun battle within the battle to watch tonight, because there's not many opportunities when we get that father-son combo, unlike the Myers, obviously, who have been there a lot. But this is a new one, and it's going to be a little bit refreshing to see, because they're 2 people we really haven't seen race together.
And here's what's really interesting. I spent some time with Carter after that qualifying run, and he said, man, Honestly, I'm a little bit nervous. And he's got his earplugs in, so he can't hear us anymore. But he's, leading the field of the green flag. That's the first time he's going to be doing that in Smart Modified Tour competition. And there's a lot of pressure on a young kid like that, trying to prove himself with a very successful dad. But Carter McMurray has really shown his stuff, and he's coming off one of his best finishes of the year, a top 5 run, where he led laps and did really well at Wake County Speedway in Raleigh.
I think what makes that top 5 even more impressive is that he worked his way through the back with less than 30 laps to go in such a short track like Wake. That 40 car was just so fast when we were at Wake, and it just showed how good of a driver McMurray was.
Sean McInerney in the 15. You see him strapping behind the wheel of that race car. This kid just so good. Watched him in Legends cars win there. Crate Modifieds won there as well. But he said he's never been at a track like Franklin County. And he came here today and he said, this place just takes your breath away. It is so lightning quick.
It's going to be really fun to see. I saw a lot in practice. McIlwain was kind of working that curb a little bit, trying to use it to get a little more turn out of the car through the corner. So that could be something to watch for.
Danny, bad to the bone. He certainly has been this year. And Bone, 3 wins back-to-back in the last 2 Smart Modified Tour races. We've had a little break, so Danny Bone getting back into the swing of things. But if you look at some of the cars behind him as well, so many big names. Jake Crum, former Valley Star Credit Union 300 winner at Martinsville Speedway, buckling up behind the wheel of his race car. He's ready to duke it out with the best, and we know Jake Crum is not afraid of anyone. His wife, Annabeth, will be running the Carolina Crate Modified Series. But even if you go further back, the next row, we've talked about him. Jamie McMurray, his kid leading the field. He's in that 16 VA car here today for the first time behind the wheel of a Tour Type Modified. Getting all the mirrors set, getting that net up here at Franklin County Raceway. But even further back in the field, you go to the outside of that row, and you got the Gray Ghost. And we say the Gray Ghost, and we know Richie Evans had the Gray Ghost and made it famous for so many years. But Joey Coulter runs this great scheme in honor of the great one, the king of modifieds, Richie Evans. And today, Joey Coulter qualifying 10th. He says, it's better than where I qualified at Wake, which was right in the back of the field. And we know how strong Joey Coulter was coming through the field on the outside in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Coulter is a big race pace guy, and so the fact that he qualified in 10th is just huge for him in that 0-2 team, just because of how much speed he shows in the race compared to qualifying.
The 77 of Will Lambros. Lambros tested here yesterday. Felt like the fuel was kind of loading up on that race car. They didn't diagnose it until today, a carburetor issue on the 77, but Will believes he's getting acclimated to this racetrack and hoping to make his way through the field. In the row behind him, though, is Jack Baldwin. I'm surprised to see Jack Baldwin qualify a little bit further back than we expected, but Baldwin, 3rd in points coming into this one. He's just knocking on the door for that first victory in the Smart Series.
It's been a great season for him, and he's been really consistent, and that's why he's sitting 3rd in points. He just has a couple mistakes that he's made the last couple of races that he needs to clean up, but this bad qualifying position definitely does not help that.
You look at the guy to his outside, a unique story for Austin McDaniel in the Bobby Meismer prepared number 14, that Honda of Concord car. Austin McDaniel, we know how good he is. He's a 2-time track champion in late model stock car ranks at Hickory. But today, I should say this week, we learned how good he is as well and how fit he is. He actually ran a half marathon a couple of weeks ago in Pennsylvania. So I just got the signal that we are ready to fire engines. So I have my son today and my nephew to give the command to fire engines on the count of 3. So 3, 2, 1.
Start your engines.
There we go. We're going to hear these engines fire at Franklin County Speedway. By the way, Kenny Minter Jr. up there with late model stock cars in Langley, Virginia, was scheduled to give the command here today. Unfortunately, that piece of video not ready to go for the time of our broadcast because of a little technical snafu with some power in the truck. But Kenny, we thank you so much for allowing us to pay tribute to a great man we lost way too soon with the Kenny Minter Classic. How about that front row? The KevinSaysYes.com Polaris off-road machine for Brandon Ward alongside of Carter McMurray, and the sun beginning to set over the mountains here. We're going to be under the lights pretty soon at Franklin County Speedway. Thank you to Carolina Drilling and Citrus 8 for providing the drone coverage, and we'll see a lot of that here tonight. And folks, we want to remind you, you need to get, especially as we just got past Memorial Day weekend, you need to get to Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, so many more, and get yourself some Citrus Safe Grill Cleaner, the best non-toxic, biodegradable grill cleaner on the market. I have some, used it just the other day, and you got to get yourself some Citrus Safe. They are big backers of racing. George Phillips and Super Late Model Racing next week at Ace Speedway with Slate Myers, and of course for so many years here with Burt Myers in the Mighty Modifieds.
I just love hearing that rumble go by us. It's such a good sound that I've been missing for a couple weeks now. These summer stretches are always so heart-wrenching for me because it's not back-to-back weekends with Modified, so when I get to hear them, I cherish it a little more.
We didn't get to talk about all the storylines, and there are a multitude of them coming into this one, including, and they had to stop abruptly right there. You see, I believe that was James Savali on the outside groove after Joey Braun kind of stopped, maybe to re-index his lineup or his wheel. But Max Hanley, a top 5 run at Wake County, really propelling him now as we inch towards the first half of the season, the conclusion of the first half, which will come after this race. Let's take a look at the starting lineup here. We'll breeze through. I apologize, no starting lineup in this one. You see fireworks overhead. We're about to have the salute in about a lap and a half to the fans here at Franklin County Speedway. Coming off the last race at Wake County, Danny Bone, the winner there in Team 25. And today, this one is going to be a little bit bigger racetrack, but Wake County was pretty quick. This was just a little bit quicker.
It is wild how the size of the track, how fast these cars are traveling. So one little slip up and you can lose 4, 5, 6 positions. So you're gonna have to have a perfect race and not lose that mentality while you're struggling to breathe around these turns.
Waving the VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution under pace laps here. Thank you to that fine facility in Richmond, Virginia for all they're doing, not just for the Smart Modified Tour, but for cancer awareness. Ladies and gentlemen, we need you on your feet all around this fine facility in Callaway, Virginia. This is the Smart salute to you, the greatest fans in America. 600 horsepower, open wheels, and chrome horns. That's what the Smart Tour is all about, and we are rocking today here at Franklin County Speedway. Next time by will be 1 to go until we go green here in Southwest Virginia. Carter McMurray, all the pressure on him to lead the field to the green flag as a teenager.
And on his outside, that is where the pressure is going to come from. Brandon Ward, very, very experienced in these tour-type modifieds, so he's going to immediately put Carter McMurray under pressure as soon as we go green.
This racetrack, 3/8 of a mile oval, those 22 degrees of banking in the corner just hold those 15-inch tires like glue, and that's what allows the drivers to take advantage of that horsepower underneath the hood.
Especially with the sun going down, with that temperature dropping, it's going to get a lot more grippier for these drivers, and honestly, I expect them to be running qualifying laps midway through the race.
Carter McMurray will lead the field to the green flag. Brandon Ward alongside. Folks, there is no racetrack in America more exciting for modified racing than Franklin County Speedway, and tonight is the Kenny Minter Classic for the drivers that live. Nice clean start for all 20 drivers in the starting line today. To be patient, to fade back to second, now under fire for that position by Luke Baldwin. Brandon Ward to the lead in the opening lap.
And Brandon Ward just put his back on that racetrack and just punched it down on the other side. Like you mentioned, McMurray just kind of let him go. You got to bide your time in such a long race. One of the few extended races for the modifieds.
The drivers running third and fourth right now. Luke Baldwin and Ryan Newman. Man, did they have a finish here last year. The closest finish in the history of the Smart Modified Tour. Newman actually beating Luke Baldwin by 0.016 seconds. There is the black nose piece on the 79. Jonathan Cash's miserable luck this year in the Smart Modified Tour continues. It's the first VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution of the day.
I'm interested to see what happened to the car because you don't see any smoke coming out of the tailpipes or the engine, so it doesn't look like an engine expired, but obviously something broken in that car with the window net down.
Yeah, he has signified that he's okay. Looks like he needs a push. We'll see if that team, one of the most legendary teams in Southern Modified Racing, can get that car back out on the racetrack. Jason Tutterow, as well as Jimmy Wallace, who has had problems with his 21 machine all day long, they are on pit road as well. So first caution in this 110-lap race. Just an interesting twist to the scenario of Southern Modified Racing because Smart normally runs a 99-lap race.
Yeah, this is one of the few races where they get to extend the laps a little bit. So it's going to be interesting. It's not a ton of laps, only 11. But still, that 11-lap difference could be you saving the tires or pushing a little hard on a run, and it could cost you in the long run.
There are 3 extra distance modified races of the season, this being one of them. The other 2, the Hickory 100, extra by 1 lap. And then the King of the Modifieds, which is 125 laps back in March at South Boston Speedway. There you see Cash pulling to the infield, and we mentioned Jonathan Cash, and we talk about that up and down season for him. It has been a struggle, to say the least, for the winner at Coastal Plains Raceway last year. Cash right now, if you look, 2 top 10 finishes in 2026, but that's it. He didn't even get to start the King of the Modifieds because of some technical problems with that race car. It's been a tough season for the former late model champion as well as a go-kart standout.
Yeah, it's just no luck at all, and we see it once again where 3 laps in and he already has to retire the car. So if you're his teammate now, you're kind of wondering if Savali is going to have some kind of similar issue. So you got to feel like Savali's probably a little uncomfortable in that car now.
We're in Southwest Virginia, near Rocky Mount, Virginia, the home of Satch Worley. Very close to Roanoke, Virginia as well, about 26 miles south of Roanoke. And this track opened back in 1969. Here they come to the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners Choose Cone. Brandon Ward choosing the outside. The outside is a good, fast way around this 3/8 of a mile oval.
And it's very Brandon Ward to pick that outside when he has the choice. We've seen it at pretty much every track we've been to where he just likes the jump that he gets, and you can kind of pinch down the car on the inside and get the run off. So Brandon Ward doing what he has to really control the race.
Brandon Ward, it's been a couple of weeks off for him because they didn't even run the last race that he was scheduled to run at Bowman Gray Stadium. So he said it was good. Time to reset. They had got involved in a wreck at Wake County a few weeks ago. They prepared that race car, and that's why he's ready to battle with that KevinSaysYes.com Polaris Off-Road 04 machine. The Bass Pro Shops car on the inside, but the 04 is the control car for this restart. There goes Ward back to the lead. Luke Baldwin trying to follow suit on the outside of the 40 of McMurray. Carter's dad, Jamie McMurray, in the starting lineup as well. Baldwin can't get by him, and McMurray a little slip up right there in the middle of the corner, still trying to fend the defending champ off.
And if you're that car on the inside like McMurray is, you got to kind of be careful because there is a curve there that he could clip, and we've seen in the past where the cars will spin the second that tire touches the curb.
Baldwin so close 1 year ago by about 3 inches at the line with Ryan Newman. But right now he's inching into that second spot in turns 1 and 2. He'll get the run up off the corner and most likely complete the move. Now McMurray trying to fend off the point leader in Team 25, Danny Bone.
We heard some people in the pre-race say that they were expecting it to be a narrow racetrack, but what we're seeing so far is that you're able to pass on that outside, so that might be something going later into the night that could play a huge role in the finish.
Danny Bone able to take over. Third spot from Carter McMurray. Sean McInerney in the 15 trying to jump on the outside group, but McMurray still strong enough to keep that spot. McMurray gets into McInerney just a little bit, and it looks like McMurray is sawing out the wheel. Maybe that car a little bit unstable.
With the changing conditions, it definitely could change the handling, so he's going to be looking forward to that first pit stop, but McInerney on the outside of Newman. Jake Crum drops from behind McInerney to behind Newman, trying to make at least one position up.
Yeah, the shorter way around certainly is that inside groove, but the outside can be fast as well. Ryan Newman drove the inside groove to the victory in this race 1 year ago, and he too looks like he's struggling with the handling of that race car just a little bit. Caution coming out, and it's for the 77 car of rookie contender in the Smart Series, Will Lambros, who spins to bring out the second VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution of the night.
And it looked like there was some contact. It looked like Jack Baldwin got into the curb, and then Lambros ran into the back of Baldwin, and that's what sent him around, just the loss of momentum.
Bad break for Will Lambros in one of those PSR cars. Eddie Harvey, veteran crew chief, at the helm for this team. Lambros will get it pointed, possibly even come down pit road right now. Let's just remind folks what they see out of these races. Bell Helmet Stage 1, it ends at the end of lap 30. You can actually have the Bell Helmet Stage 1, actually the caution, that is, the competition caution, 5 laps prior, within that range if there is a natural caution. Let's take a look at what happened to Will Lambros to bring out this caution flag. Look up at the way left of the screen, and they stack up there, and I think Lambros just trying not to get into Kyle Ebersol.
Yeah, it looked like what I saw when I looked down, and it was Jack just clipping that curb, and then it was the chain reaction because Jack had to get on the brake, so he didn't lose it because that curb is dangerous, and then it was just that chain reaction. Thankfully, doesn't look like any damaged race cars.
And you will see pit stops here today. Each team has a single tire at their disposal to change at some juncture in this race. And there's a lot of different strategy. Do you take it early? Do you take it late? This is an extra distance race. A lot of unknown, and a lot of teams go back to their experience, and it depends on where the cautions fall. But that one tire, very important, and as well as those adjustments you can make to your car midway through this race.
The real interesting thing is this surface hasn't been raced on very often the last couple of months, so it's going to be interesting to see if it's going to eat the tires while it's taking the rubber, or if it's going to be more of a less tire wear race.
There have been no races run here at Franklin County in the last 8 months is what I was told. So that's a long span, a very green racetrack. And hats off to everybody. Langley Austin, the event promoter here today, Chris Williams, as well as the Senator Stanley, Bill Stanley, working at getting this track operational after sitting idle for 8 months. Just less than a week ago, just days ago, it didn't even have electricity, power to this racetrack. But a couple calls were put in and some work was done, and today we're going to see a very exciting race because of the efforts that were made to get this race going. Will Lambros might as well come down pit road, check out that race car, maybe make an adjustment, measure some stagger, and you can see them making a chassis adjustment on that 77 car. And Will's had some great runs already this year.
Yeah, he's been really, really fun to watch and running for that Rookie of the Year contention, so it's going to be really cool to watch that battle. Right now, Lambros does lead it. Max Hanley right behind him, especially with that great run last race at Wake, finishing 5th. So this battle is going to be really tight and really fun to watch.
And Lambros struggled at Wake. He did get that 11th place run, but he was involved in a bunch of mishaps. His best finish this year, Dominion, with a 5th place run. And there is the number 22 of Jason Tutterow, part-time competitor with the Smart Modified Tour. Just loves coming and having fun with this racing series.
We're going to be coming to the Citrus Safe Choose Cone here, and Brandon Ward once again takes that outside, Baldwin to the inside. Then it goes Danny Bone and Carter McMurray, and it looks like it's just right now an even split inside-outside.
So this is interesting because Brandon Ward has chosen that outside groove. He used it to his advantage at the initial start through a couple of restarts already. But Luke Baldwin's awfully good here. He knows how to put the pedal to the metal. This may be a pretty good challenge for the 0-4.
Baldwin fastest in practice and qualifying, so he has the speed. He just got really unlucky on the redrawing fourth.
Green flag back out. Baldwin with a really good restart here, but that momentum you get on the outside groove just proves positive for Brandon Ward.
Great run for Baldwin, though, able to drop back up in front of Danny Bone to hold that position. And the first battle is Carter McMurray and Ryan Newman, but it looks like Newman's going to get the edge out of 2.
Yeah, and here comes Jake Crum as well. So Newman up to 4th, battle for 5th. Jake Crum on the outside with that new paint scheme on that Mount Airy Toyota machine, and he gets the spot.
McMurray really struggling on these first couple runs, maybe a little bit of a handling issue, but a little too early to pit. Burt Myers now trying to take advantage of that 40 car.
Burt Myers won here at Franklin County Speedway a few years ago. He was on quite a run, won like 3 or 4 races in a row at that time, but Burt's having himself a very quiet but good year, top 5 in points.
And then the way that racing works, look at the 2 cars together. The one of Burt Myers and the one of Jake Crum running bumper to bumper as Crum is trying to look for a way around Newman.
Trouble for the 16, I believe, of Jamie McMurray. Indeed it is. And Austin McDaniel, those two get in an incident, and the 14 comes to a rest on the right front tire of that Pace-O-Matic car for McMurray. Bad break for the former NASCAR Cup Series winner. Austin McDaniel, we'll have to check this out. Looking at his race car, shaking his head, very frustrated, is the driver of the 14 in an incident with Jamie McMurray.
That's a very interesting situation to be in. You don't see a modified parked on top of another one very often, especially on that front stretch. So it's going to be really interesting to see if we get the replay to see what happened and where the contact started.
The gentleman at the far right of your screen, gray T-shirt, Hughes Motorsports with a Racing Electronics headset on there. That is the car owner, Kevin Hughes, and he's looking at his machine to see, hey, how bad is it hurt? Austin McDaniel has had a tough season, but he's still trying to learn the ropes of modified racing, and if he can get back out there, any lap you can turn is good for experience behind the wheel of these cars. So while we clean this up, we'll take a quick break here on Flow Racing and come back with a whole lot more racing from Franklin County Raceway tonight for the Smart Modified Tour. It's the Kinney Minter Classic. Red flag conditions early in the Kenny Minter Classic for the Smart Modified Tour, race number 7 of the season. And there you see the damage. The 14 car of Austin McDaniel up on top of the right front tire of the 16 VA of Jamie McMurray. We'll take a look at the replay on our Flow Racing broadcast of exactly what happened in that incident. You got to look about 3/4 of the way through the field. McMurray on the outside. McDaniel actually went up, maybe the right front tire going down, not sure on that car, but it jolted right, hit the wall, and bounced off and into Jamie McMurray's car.
With how sharp it turned to the outside wall, you got to think either something broke or it was that tire, because no driver is going to make that type of error, so it had to be something mechanical for McDaniels.
Bad break for both of these drivers. You saw Austin McDaniel out of the race car, and Jamie McMurray still in it. He's got his driver's net down, but he's still got his helmet on. He's wondering if there's any damage to the right front of that Pace-O-Matic 16 VA. Get a nice close look at it right there. Good job by Mitch, one of our camera operators for the Smart Modified Tour. And I think he's going to have to adjust the toe on that race car, but he might be okay. And a lot of questions surrounding the 14 car. Bobby Meismer, I'm sure, the crew chief on the 14, looking at that race car, trying to figure out what they need to do to get McDaniel back out in the racetrack. So still plenty of cleanup here in Callaway, Virginia. Almost got the cars off of each other here on the front stretch. Series director Chris Williams, he is there helping out. Honeycutt down there as well, and Austin McDaniel outside of his car. But we'll take a break here on Flow Racing and come back, hopefully, with some more green flag racing pretty soon. Jamie McMurray on pit road in the Pace-O-Matic 16 VA. And there you see the damage on his race car. Red flag conditions early in the Kenny Minter Classic for the Smart Modified Tour. And that team assessing the damage, they have the Nerf bar off of that one. And it appears as though that Nerf bar was really mangled, rubbing up against the right rear tire. McMurray in the Bass Pro Shops driver's suit on the right side of your screen. Ryan Flores, who will be running the crate modified race a little bit later in the white, black, and gold uniform, chatting about what happened on the racetrack.
And with how this racetrack is, honestly, McMurray just had no time to react before he had a race car on top of him. So just unfortunate for the 16 VA. And we've kind of seen that throughout the whole year where the 16 VA car just has ran into so much bad luck.
It has had a couple of good runs. Connor Hall, Hayslip there at Wake County, some good runs for that car. And Jamie was having a good time. And unfortunate circumstances. You see Phil Stefanelli down there. He owns a PSR chassis and works on these race cars with Sadler Stanley Racing. And just a bunch of people taking a look. And Jamie McMurray in the hauler out of that race car. Let's take a look at what happened again. And when we see this drone shot, we want to look about 3/4 of the way through the field. The white car on the outside, first car on the outside groove, and watch, there might have been a little contact with another car. It might have been Joey Coulter is what might have happened there. Great shot there by our drone pilot to get us that. And then obviously once McDaniel got up against the wall after that contact with Coulter, just bounced off the cement here, and Jamie McMurray was unfortunately right there.
It's not a very wide racetrack either, so they didn't have much room to really scatter across the track. So just wrong place, wrong time for McMurray. And good thing to see McDaniels is okay because he took a couple really hard hits there.
There is Brandon Ward. Ward in the 04 car. Got to say hello to Kevin Powell, and I'm sure he's always hard working with his dealerships and so forth. And Polaris Off-Road coming on board with that team this year. Just a great effort by Brandon Ward, coming back full-time to the Smart Modified Tour for the first time in a couple of years with this team, and now going after the championship. They've had the success at Bowman Gray Stadium together, winning 2 NASCAR Modified Championships. But Brandon Ward has been a runner-up before, but still looking for that coveted first title with the Smart Mods.
And with how his season has gone this year, there's definitely a chance he can get that win here. And it's going to be interesting because he's also had that bad luck bug every once in a while. We look at South Boston where he blew an engine early, last race at Wake. So if he can just correct a couple of those mistakes, the driver that's currently sitting 4th in points could be up at the top.
There you see Austin McDaniel's car coming into the picture. He's waiting. You can see the team waiting to analyze that race car, and they've got some a lot of bent up right front suspension on that race car.
That's not a fun repair job, but luckily for that 14 team, they're going to have another month break before they have to come back to the racetrack for the Smart Mods. So they're going to be able to get that race car repaired and ready for when we go to Callaway on July 4th.
Callaway's going to be a lot of fun for sure. The Revolutionary 99 on a Saturday night, July 4th. Fireworks will be in the air in Sophia, North Carolina with the Smart Modified Tour, as well as a big race for the limited late models as well. We're looking forward to that and the coverage on Flow Racing. They're saying just put the car down. They are done for the night. That car a little bit mangled here today for Austin McDaniel. Callaway, Virginia is the site of race number 7 with the Smart Modified Tour. We are still under red flag conditions at Franklin County Speedway.
welcome back to Franklin County Speedway here in Callaway, Virginia, as the cars are fired back up and pacing around the track. The cleanup team has gotten up everything after the wreck of Austin McDaniel and Jamie McMurray, so now we are going to be getting ready to get set again. Looks like we'll have one more lap or so until we come back around to the choose cone, but Brandon Ward on the point where he has been all race long after overtaking Carter McMurray on the first lap in the first turn. And then behind him is the man of the day, fastest in practice and qualifying for Luke Baldwin. And then Danny Bone, the hottest driver in the series, is sitting in third.
You mentioned Luke Baldwin going after a third consecutive title with the Smart Modified Tour, running in second right now. Still looking for his first victory of the season, and it's trying it at a track that he's been so successful at. But Luke Baldwin mired back in the point standings right now, and that is something that we're not accustomed to here with the Smart Modified Tour, because the kid has just been flat out good. But it's been difficult. Right now, Luke Baldwin, 10th in the series standings.
Yeah, 59 points back. But, Bob, that 59 points could be made up very, very quickly, because we've seen a lot of these Smart Modified Tour fields be bigger than what we've expected throughout the whole year. So that 59 points, that could be 1 or 2 races instead of 4 or 5 like a normal year.
Yeah, you take a look at the point standings right now. Just to remind everybody, Danny Bone is leading in the Team 25 car. Bone having himself a good run right now in the third spot. Ryan Newman is second in points, 16 markers behind Danny Bone, and right now he's running right behind Danny Bone on the racetrack. Jack Baldwin, 30 points back. Baldwin's been consistent this year. Burt Myers, 34 points back in fourth. And Joey Braun, who led a bunch of laps here last year in the Hillbilly 79 ride, currently rounding out the top 5.
This season, it's all been about consistency, and that is what Danny Bone has done the best, is just be consistent. Hasn't wrecked much and just kept that car clean.
Ain't nothing but a hound dog. It's funny because we talk about, that song by Elvis Presley, and I'm not, one of those Elvis Presley guys. It wasn't my era, but at the same time, I did see the guy who runs third, his car owner, Mike Smith here, we call him Andretti, has got those blue suede shoes on like Elvis did, and he was kind of doing the little Elvis dance on pit road today during practice. He knows his driver has a very good race car.
It's pretty much guaranteed every weekend that we'll see that 25 car run up front. And the good thing is they haven't had any mechanical issues. Right now they look like Superman. Knock on wood.
Careful. They are a magical combination, is the Team 25 program. With Andretti, that team, you look at Eddie Bone, Danny's dad, works on that race car. Danny's a third-generation driver, not only with his dad, but his grandfather, Parker. So Danny Bone is one tough customer. He looks like he should be playing in the NFL, but he's darn good behind the wheel of a modified.
This is going to be a fun restart. I want to see how Luke Baldwin attacks this. He got a good jump last time, but just got beat a little bit into the center of the turn, so he's got to really try to beat Brandon Ward into that entry.
Coming back to the green in the Pace-O-Matic restart zone, marked by those green cones on the inside. Here comes Brandon Ward, getting a little bit of a push there just momentarily by Danny Bone. Ward back to the front. Here comes Danny Bone on the outside of Baldwin.
And then watch out for Jake Crum as he's on the outside of Ryan Newman, just consistently working his way through the pack. And he maybe a little bit of contact there with Newman, but so far clean racing. Bone trying to get the run off the outside.
Only 2 drivers led laps in the September race for the Smart Modified Tour. Both of those drivers following each other on the outside groove, Danny Bone and Jake Crum.
Bone gets around Baldwin. Baldwin shuts the door on Jake Crum, and he has to hit the brakes, and that's going to bring Ryan Newman right back into that battle, but it looks like Crum is able to clear it.
Jake Crum had a penalty after the last race at Wake County when under caution he hit Burt Myers, whom he was mad at. And there was a little Bowman Gray, if you will, at Wake County Speedway. Ryan Newman on the inside of Carter McMurray, the veteran with the young kid on the outside, both of them carrying the Bass Pro Shop colors.
And with that red flag, they got a heat cycle on the tires now, and those tires cooled down, so the handling could shift for a lot of these race cars as we get back going.
Gotta ask Ryan Newman if we can go fishing on his Bass Tracker boat on Lake Norman someday. Someday maybe I'll get myself a Bass Tracker as well, but right now Carter McMurray gets that spot going back by the number 2 of Ryan Newman.
And then Burt Myers trying to do the same exact move that Carter McMurray did, but Newman shuts the door. But it looks like Meyer really likes that outside.
Let's take a look at the number 2 car of Ryan Newman. Watch him, there's some bumps down in turn number 4, and you see that little bump as he goes down to the apron, upsetting the race car, kind of hops up a half a groove, and I'm sure that's something that Ryan is struggling with right now.
The big thing is, too, it kind of shoots the race car straight every single time, so he has to angle and diamond the turn a little more to get a better exit off.
I'm going to use that word. I like hangle. I love that word. I use squirgly on the air once. So here comes the number 1 of Jake Crum to the inside of Baldwin. So something a little different. Crum going to the bottom. The battle is on for 3rd.
Crum has really been dominant pretty much anywhere on the track so far, and you see him trying to make that move on the bottom, but Baldwin pinches him a little bit there, and Crum has to get out of it.
Almost exactly what we were seeing out of Ryan Newman. Crum went way down to the bottom of the apron to get that car to turn, but it kind of flattened out and shot his car up the track, and he gets into Baldwin again. So Crum struggling to stay with himself and keep that speed up on the bottom.
It looks like the bottom through 1 and 2 have been really good, but 3 and 4 with that bump, any car on the bottom when you're battling somebody on the outside has really been struggling.
Got to say a big thank you to all the folks at Pace-O-Matic for all they do for the Smart Modified Tour. Without them, this series would not exist, and we appreciate their support through the last several years with this tour. Carter McMurray, Jack Baldwin, 3rd in points, sideways coming off the corner, and he gets into the 5 of Kyle Ebersol. So problems for Jack Baldwin. Would love to see how he got sideways. Maybe Baldwin not happy with somebody on the racetrack, and then getting into the 5 of Ebersol, making his 2nd start of the year, and the VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution is out again.
It looks like the handling on that 7NY isn't very great either, so it could be a whole handful of things. As we saw Savali take a little push him up the track there just under caution, so maybe it was contact with Savali.
And this is the conclusion. We got so caught up in the racing action, the conclusion of Bell Helmet's Stage 1. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened to Jack Baldwin in the Stoke Shoes machine on our Flow Racing broadcast. He just gets his tires down below like so many others on that apron, shot up the racetrack ever so slightly, and then he in the 79 made contact.
It looked like he kind of hit that bump we've been talking about too, and it shot the race car up just a tad. And when Savali is outside and just not quite clear of him, he just makes that unfortunate contact because he doesn't have the room to run it up.
This is why Bell Helmets and so many of the other awards are so important. This Bell Helmet Stage 1, Brandon Ward wins it. He struggled at Wake County after that early race wreck. Definitely the low light of his season after a win early in the season. But now he gets a couple extra bonus points by virtue of winning Bell Helmet Stage 1, as do the 2nd place and 3rd place drivers as well, plus a little extra cash in their pocket leaving Franklin County. We're going to take another look at some more racing action just laps prior to what we saw there on the racetrack. Flow Racing getting us all the pictures that we need, and there you see some just intense racing action. And look at that, the 24 of Joey Braun getting into the 79 of James Savali. Savali then stopping in the corner, and the left front tire on the 24 making contact with the back bumper. You got to wonder now, is the toe out, that front suspension out of line on the 24 of Joey Braun?
What I'm going to be really watching is that 79 car, because he's been pushed around a little here and there, but he has been aggressive on the approach back, kind of pushing the people that have pushed him around back. So Savali, very aggressive, as we know, as a race car driver, and now that they've kind of poked the bear a little bit. So let's see if the bear can get out of the cage.
The bear is a good term for James Savali. Has always been fiery, behind the wheel. As soon as he puts that helmet on, man, he is just a different competitor, but a talented one at that. Cut his teeth up in New England, winner in all forms of modified racing up there at some great racetracks. And I love watching the racing at Stafford Motor Speedway, live on Flow Racing. One of my favorite tracks in America. Hope to get back up to the track outside of Hartford, Connecticut. There's the Citrus Safe Choose Cone. You can see drivers choosing the inside or outside lane at that cone.
Much of the same on what we've seen for Brandon Ward, taking that outside, and Danny Bone now on the inside. And we know Danny Bone has been exceptional on these restarts. I wish I had a graphic just to show how good he was on these restarts. So Danny Bone is going to be one to watch for here. If anybody can challenge Brandon Ward, it's going to be that 25 car.
Let's see what Brandon Ward can do. He's been in control of this race since the early on portion. Nice, slow pace to the Pace-O-Matic restart zone, and there is Brandon Ward racing into the corner. But Danny Bone trying to stick with him, can't do it. Ward back to the front. Now Baldwin on the outside groove with Danny Bone on the inside. A switcheroo, if you will, from the last restart.
And Baldwin just trying to get around him a little loose. Danny Bone also slides up the track to put a little bit of a block on him to try to create a gap so he can run away with it.
Smart move by Danny Bone. That's exactly what I would do. Let me get my own lane. Let those two guys behind me go side by side to get back the groove going again on the 25. But the 25 looks a little tight. Looks like it doesn't want to turn in the center of the corner, firing off this last restart.
Jake Crum looking into the inside of Bone, but Bone shuts the door. He is able to clear Luke Baldwin, and now Crum, who's really rolling that middle really well, sets his sight for second place.
Oh, a little contact there. Baldwin all sorts of out of shape, and Luke Baldwin trying to hold on to that position. A lot of bumps down in 3 and 4. Here comes Crum. Crum on the inside of the 25 of Danny Bone. Look out, two hard-nosed racers duking it out for the second spot with a bunch of laps to go, still in this one. Crum gets the second.
Kind of looks like Danny Bone backed off a little there too, saving the tires and not racing with 74 left to go. You got to save yourself a little bit.
Crum is an interesting story. Started off the season on fire, a brand new team. He owns this team, a brand new race car that Justin Link helped him set up. A prototype racing fabrication. New chassis in the modified ranks over the past couple of years, and Jake Crum is making it work.
And with the new paint scheme, it just looks so cool at night. As we see a little bit of a jam here. As you just mentioned, Bone does look a little bit loose, so he's kind of struggling and creating a freight train behind him.
And I'll just go back on that, what I said earlier. The car doesn't want to turn in the center of the corner. So a little bit tight, I think, for Danny Bone right now going around this racetrack. But he is a master, and he'll hold on like no other until they can come down pit road and maybe take that fresh right rear tire.
Baldwin hounding behind him, though, and then you have that line starting to form where it's almost like a train in a sense, where everybody running the same line, same groove, but everybody's pushing for that one position.
A pretty good run as we look at this battle. Just want to note the 45 of Jack Hanley running behind the number 1 of Burt Myers. Hanley started really deep in the field, and right now Hanley running up in 8th.
Max Hanley coming off of that 5th place finish just the last race at Wake, so carrying that momentum a little bit, and then look behind him too, that 0-2 of Joey Coulter trying to work his way up.
Hanley is a student of the game, and remember, this is his first year, first time seeing all these racetracks in the South. He's run a bunch up on Long Island at Riverhead Raceway, wins there in the Crate Modified division, but here he's learning his craft, and I spoke to his car owner, Joe Denseski, today. Denseski says, man, we are definitely coming back. We feel the more he gets time behind the wheel of these racetracks, the better he'll be. And the same could be said for Carter McMurray, because 1 year ago, who knows if he would have saved the car like he just did right there in the 40.
Yeah, got a little tight in the middle of the turn and hit Nerf bars with Baldwin, but able to save it and keep it in line. And now trying to work on him again. It's going to be a lot harder to pass when we get longer into these runs because that top goes away a little bit.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Carter McMurray, his perseverance, his patience behind the wheel that he has exuded here this season with the Smart Modified Tour. It's pretty impressive, especially after that really good run a few weeks back at Wake County.
The improvement's been a night and day difference, and this just shows right now running in that 5th position. He's been in the top 5 for a majority of every race we've been to this season. So McMurray's really spent that time in the offseason to perfect what he needs to.
Looks like he might be getting a little impatient right now, testing the back bumper of Luke Baldwin. But think about McMurray. 3 top 10 finishes in the first 6 races, 1 just outside the top 10 in 11th. So he's been fairly consistent. Had troubles at South Boston and Dominion, but man, he was running good at those racetracks as well.
McMurray just ran up the backside of Luke Baldwin. Both drivers able to save it, though. He's hit him about 3 or 4 times since you mentioned the first time. So McMurray really impatient with his PSR teammate.
He's got a faster race car right now. You can see Baldwin just kind of stalls a little bit. That car not secure on exit of every corner.
And it's definitely holding up. There's another shot by McMurray. You got to think, if you're Baldwin, would it just be smart with 59 to go just to let him by?
Every spot matters for Luke Baldwin, being 10th in points. Contact between McMurray and Luke Baldwin again. 59 to go in the Kenny Minter Classic.
That 40 car is definitely way faster than that 7 VA right now. It's just, can McMurray make that move? He's trying under 3 and 4 every single time. This time, finally gets it the stick, and now he's going to dive into 1 and 2 on the inside.
Pretty impressive, the maturity behind the wheel for Carter McMurray. Yes, he got into Baldwin on a couple of occasions, but didn't wreck him. Here comes Newman now. Newman trying to rebound a little bit. Carter McMurray now up to 4th. Ryan Newman inching out ahead a little bit into that 5th spot.
And then Burt Myers really quiet but really steady, just like all season long, trying to sneak into that 6th position.
Look at that. Behind that, Handley was all sorts of out of shape as well in a battle with Joey Coulter. Coulter gets the spot. He's up to 8th. Baldwin trying to hold on to this spot. Burt Myers firing on all 8 cylinders here, trying to get by, but Baldwin able to keep the 6th spot.
The front 3 starting to check out a little bit. It's Brandon Ward, Jake Crum, and Danny Bone as the caution flag waves for, it looks like Will Lambro spun on the front stretch.
The VCU Massey Comprehensive Cancer Center caution out again at Franklin County for the 2nd time for the 77 of Will Lambros. So
that was a long green flag run, so you got to assume that we are going to see a lot of these drivers come down and option to take that 1 tire and get those adjustments, because the darker it gets, the more this racetrack's going to change. And we've seen a lot of different race cars that started off fast, like Luke Baldwin, for instance, that just has completely switched on the spectrum and just is not handling well at all.
By the way, we've been talking about some drivers and where they're running. We understand the ticker was wrong at the top of the screen, just an electronic snafu from the scoring system. But we do have the proper scoring up here. Right now it's Brandon Ward over Jake Crum, the 0-4 over the 1JC. Danny Bone is riding in 3rd. Carter McMurray, good run in 4th. Ryan Newman rounding out the top 5. 6th is the 7 of Luke Baldwin. 7th is the 1 of Burt Myers. Joey Coulter now up to 8th. Max Hanley back to 9th. And Jack Baldwin rebounding back up into the top 10.
Jack Baldwin, that is, has been making a very slow and steady climb, and he still has a lot of laps to do it. Only 57 laps in, so it's going to be very interesting to see that 7NY. He's been so consistent all year, and he's been able to, when he's in those unfortunate situations, work his way through the field, and we're kind of starting to see that right now.
Here come Ryan Newman, among others, running in the 5th spot, coming down pit road, and it'll be interesting to see everybody going to take that tire. And listen, you can take it on any corner of the car, but everybody takes it on the right rear. You will see other tires get swapped. You can still change position on the other 3 tires to match up the stagger the way you want. Here's Luke Baldwin. Obviously, he was struggling with that race car, so they're going to put the new tire on and I'm sure make some adjustments to that race car.
I won't be surprised to see a lot of adjustments up and down pit road just because of how the handling switched all of a sudden. We saw after that red flag that a lot of cars completely flipped on how they were handling and driving, and so I expect to see a lot of wrenches. As we can see, Newman getting his tire fitted and switched around. Next to him, Joey Coulter jacking the left side of that car up to switch the tires. moving the left rear to the left front and left front to the left rear.
Easy for you to say,
Yeah.
right? There is the 04 car. We're going to get that in focus. Great job. The Polaris off-road machine of Brandon Ward in total control of this race right from the get-go in this 110-lap race.
And in that Kevin Says Yes.com car, Brandon Ward was very, very excited to come here today and had just a great mood, smile on his face, and we're seeing why. That race car is fast.
And it'll be a double dip for Brandon Ward. We expect to see him in the 100-lapper tomorrow for the NASCAR Modifieds at Bowman Gray Stadium. You'll be able to watch that live on Flow Racing. There's Jake Crum in the Mount Airy Toyota machine. Cherokee Underground also supporting the Dark Knight, Jake Crum. A myriad of nicknames for Jake Crump here today, having some fun with what happened at Wake County a few weeks back.
And you need a driver like that can have fun with when mistakes happen and he gets called a nickname. He uses that nickname to his advantage to promote it. Like Jake Three Grooves, for instance. I think that was so funny. I came to the racetrack today, and I'm so used to seeing the orange number 1 with the snake around it, and then you see that fluorescent green and a longer name. I'm like, who is that? And then I walk up to it, and it's Jake Crum.
And then he was also wearing a hat with locally hated on it. So Crum definitely absorbing all of that energy and making good out of it. And listen, Jake Crum, he's been loved and hated throughout his career, right back to the Legends car ranks, but he is one good racer that will win races in the Smart Modified Tour. There you see cars. By the way, that 52 car you see on the lower left of your screen, that is Brooklyn Newman's car. That's the daughter of Ryan Newman. She'll be running a little bit later on tonight in the Carolina Crate Modified Series, and you will be able to see that live on Flow Racing.
We're seeing some lengthy pit stops for some of these drivers, really getting the handling right like they want on these cars. And so it's going to be interesting to see now. Obviously, non-competitive pit stops, so no matter how long their stop is, they are still going to be able to assume the position that they went into the pits with, but you can take that little bit of time since it's not competitive.
The interesting thing, we mentioned Ryan Newman having a fairly good run here. He's in contention at this stage, but that number 2 machine, he had trouble in practice earlier today, Ryan Newman. A fuel pump went bad on that car. Randy Renfro, that team, went to work on it. He didn't get out in practice until 3/4 of the way. So they've been working behind the 8 ball all day long, had a decent qualifying effort, and now solidly in the top 5. Oh, looks like he's going to come. No, he's trying to get position. That's what he's doing. And the smart officials putting him in the proper running order before we get fired again here in Callaway, Virginia.
We're going to see Jake Crum most likely take the inside to Brandon Ward here when they come to the choose cone. And we know how aggressive Jake Crum is. We've seen it all season long, even clean aggressive in a sense. And so it's going to be a fun restart because Crum has a very, very fast car. So it's going to be really fun to watch him challenge Brandon Ward, who has just been straight up dominant.
See all the cars zooming by. Jack Baldwin, there's the 24 machine of Joey Braun. Braun involved in a little mishap earlier in this race, being scored 12th. He came in here 5th in the point standings. Surprising we're not seeing Joey Braun run better after all the laps, more than 70 that he led in this race 1 year ago. And what's interesting is Joey Braun, just a student of the game. Ryan Newman touted him up a little bit, got a ride down here last year, did really well, led 119 laps overall. Joey Braun, though, this week taking a little break, went out on the water off the coast of Long Island and caught himself some big old stripers. I mean, they were gigantic. He said, Bob, if you ever come up there, you come out with me. I know exactly where they're at. And that was no fishtail either. He actually caught some big fish, so good to see Joey Braun living it up, enjoying Long Island, where I'm from, winner at Riverhead Raceway twice last year, and still looking for win number 1 in the Smart Modified Tour.
Them striped bass were as big as the red drum that we'd be catching on the east coast of North Carolina, so it was really cool to see him just handle all those fish as we come to the Citrus Safe Choose Cone.
They sponsor a lot around the Southeast, and the Choose Cone, as well as our drone coverage. Also thanks to Carolina Drilling with Jason Tutterow and his team out of Mocksville, North Carolina. Leaders in drilling in the area. Ryan Newman on the inside of row number 2 now. Everybody got that right rear tire. Fresh tire on the right rear. Chassis adjustments galore, I'm sure. Let's see if that changes the complexion of this race. Brandon Ward, still the control car, coming back to the green flag. Ward regains the lead easily. Crum into second. Ryan Newman trying to squeeze into third on the inside of the 25 of Danny Bone.
Looked like coming out of 2, there's a little squeeze there by Crum to secure that position because Danny Bone had to hit the brakes a little bit, but we see Bone clear Newman, and now the battle is on for 5th between Carter McMurray and Ryan Newman, and we've said that battle a lot tonight.
Look at McMurray on the outside making it work. This is a high banked racetrack, 22 degrees of banking in the corner, and that's why the outside groove is so good here at Franklin County. But you see Newman give the little hip check there to knock McMurray in that 40 car behind him.
And then another vet dives right underneath him again in Burt Myers, trying to pick up that position for 5th. But McMurray shuts the door, and now we got single file all the way back to Jack Baldwin and Max Hanley.
Burt Myers has been stealth-like, a little bit further back in the field. Jack Baldwin going around Max Hanley. Baldwin in the Stoke Shoes 7 car, Hanley in the 45 Sledgehammer car.
Savali on the outside or inside of Joey Braun, and we've seen these two get together already once today, and they've been pretty much running together all race long, but it looks like Savali's going to get the edge here.
Whoa, hold on, James Savali. Almost 3 wide there for a moment, and Lambros gets into the back of the 79, knocks the 24 of Braun up the track.
That is a fantastic job by Braun to save that race car because that could have been really, really bad. But we've seen Savali just kind of throw these really late blocks, and that looked like another one there, and that's why Lambros got into him.
Joey Coulter spins to bring out the caution with 47 laps to go in the Kenny Minter Classic. Coulter started in 10th, was running in the top 10 in the ace spot at the time of this caution.
Unfortunate break for Joey Coulter. He's been trying so hard all season to keep these clean races going. Got that 3rd place finish at Wake, and he thought that momentum was going to carry, just unlucky.
3 straight top 10 finishes for Joey Coulter coming into this one. He started the year with a 12th, a 19th, a 13th. Not Joey Coulter-esque, but then a 10th at Dominion, a 7th at Hickory, and finally that first top 5 in the last race at Wake. Still plenty of time left in this one, even though the mishap, it happened right there. Let's see if he can come back through the field. We take a look at what happened, and it looked like Sean McInerney just drove low and got into the 0-2 of Joey Coulter.
A little bit of a dive bomb there, just trying to pick up that position. Coulter left him no room, and that is what resulted to him spinning out. Looked like Coulter was trying to argue to get his position back at 8th, but they are sending him to the back.
And listen, I don't believe it was as much Joey Coulter coming down as it is with Sean McInerney, who is a talented race car driver, one that I love. I sound like Kenny Wallace right now, but I love Sean McInerney. But there, he dove down so low, you knew your car was going to push up a little bit, and he made contact with the 0-2 and sent him around.
Just a little too aggressive, a little too soon in the race.
Don't expect any pit stops from the top 8 to 10 cars, but if you're a little bit further back, maybe on the tail end, if you're somebody like Joey Braun, maybe you do want to stop right now to make an adjustment.
Especially with that almost contact that he made. Maybe he made a little bit. You could see Lambros come down to maybe look at that right front where Savali kind of blocked it off and chopped off his right front. So just trying to keep these cars clean in that mid-pack is really the big thing and story of the night because it's like a hornet's nest right now.
Brandon Ward, 7 wins in the Smart Series. Led a bunch of laps. Won the opener at Florence Motor Speedway in Timmonsville, South Carolina. But since then, a little up and down for him. Those 2 big, difficult races. The King of the Modifieds and the engine expired. at South Boston, 31st in that race. And then Wake, a few weeks back, that wreck, not to his doing. Another competitor made contact with him, but both of those have resulted in him really being where he is in the standings, which is still in contention in the 6th spot.
Same choose result as we saw on the last restart, where it's Ward on the outside, Crum on the inside. Second row and third row, all the same also.
It's a modified weekend for us. We go from Franklin County Speedway in Southwest Virginia over to Winston-Salem, North Carolina tomorrow night for a 100-lapper for the NASCAR mods, as well as a lot of other racing. Crum, can he do anything with Brandon Ward? Crum on the inside, Brandon Ward still controlling this race. Here comes Bone. Can it stick on the outside for Team 25? A little nudge by the 40 of Carter McMurray, and that holds up Bone, kind of slides him up the racetrack. He's able to protect that 3rd spot, and now Newman and McMurray go at it for 4th. Burt Myers on the outside of Luke Baldwin in the row behind that, so side by side for 4th on back. McMurray gets the spot. McMurray back into the top 4. I am just so impressed with young Carter McMurray and the job he is doing. Look at the prowess behind the wheel, trying to put the move on a veteran like Danny Bone.
And there's a whole bunch of drivers just kind of jumping up there. We saw Newman once again get tight off of 4 after he hit that bump. Lost a little ground to McMurray, but it looks like now that the lights are fully on, that 40 car starting to catch a flame a little bit.
McMurray sandwiched from the last 2 winners here at Franklin County. Danny Bone back in September, and in last May, it was the 2 of Ryan Newman. So good company to be with right there, the last 2 winners in smart competition in Virginia here at Franklin County. Crum is there. Good run by Jake Crum, still looking for win number 1 with a smart tour.
I've been watching him the last couple of laps, and he's just kind of trying everywhere on the track, because if you're going to beat Brandon Ward, you got to do what Brandon Ward isn't doing, and in 3 and 4 is where he's been the strongest. He's really able to wrap the middle of the turn and get that run off, as you see right there, and he enters 1 right on the back bumper.
Jake Crum is trying everything. Enter high, go low, get a steam and momentum like he is right now. Jake Crum makes contact with Brandon Ward. They are side by side for the lead. With 37 to go here in the Kenny Minter Classic. Best run for Jake Crum. Can Crum get to the front? Brandon Ward knows how to run the outside groove. Hasn't been to Franklin County, but Jake Crum is back to the lead no matter what nickname you call him here in the Smart Series.
It took 74 laps for somebody to challenge Brandon Ward, and Jake Crum finally does it, and we just see the speed in that race car as he immediately opens up a 2-car length lead.
Now Danny Bone running with Brandon Ward. You see Ward's car just kind of skip up about a quarter of a groove from where he was before that pit stop. That car just not exactly where he wants it to be.
And he has a lot of fast race cars right behind him. Danny Bone's able to roll the bottom really well. Carter McMurray's rolling the bottom really well. We saw a little bit of sparks there out of one of the cars, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on.
I'm keeping my eye on the 40. I believe that's the 2nd best car on the racetrack right now, maybe even the best. We know how good Jake Crum is in the lead, but McMurray trying to get around some of these veterans, very, very difficult task.
The really difficult thing is just how hard it is to pass, so McMurray's really going to have to work his way through the field, trying high and low on Danny Bone. Really can't get a great look.
A little bit further back, outside the top 5, the 2 Baldwins running together. Luke Baldwin in 7th, and in 8th, the 7NY of Jack Baldwin. There they are. So the Baldwin boys in the top 10, but not exactly where they want to be.
And if you're Luke, it's a little disappointing right now that you're running in that 7th position. But for Jack, this is great. You qualify 13th. You kind of get into a couple scuffles, but now you've worked yourself back up to that 8th position.
The 24 of Joey Braun right behind Jack Baldwin. So Braun back up to 9th. And behind him, the red and white 15 car, a little bit further way back for the 15 of Sean McIlerney, trying to hold off James Savali, Max Hanley back there, and Will Lambros just keeps on chugging.
That's one thing Lambros has done so well, is just not giving up, especially when he has a bad race. As we see Savali look to the inside of McIlerney. McIlerney kind of running a unique line, diamonding the turns a little bit and getting that way better run off.
Remember, this is the first time to Franklin County for Sean McIlerney, and this high horsepower modified with the 15-inch tires, you figured it's going to stick. It's difficult to drive, and Savali slams the 15. By the way, Coulter not able to make his way through the field probably as well as he hoped. He's still behind this in the 14th spot, Kyle Ebersol in 15th. Back up front, though, starting to look to see if somebody's going to make a move at the top of the heap. Brandon Ward has closed in ever so slightly on leader Jake Crum once again.
Brandon Ward is rolling really well now. Maybe more of a long run car for the 04, and he's now creeping right back up on that back bumper. We saw Crum use a little bit of a Nerf bar to push him up and out of the groove, so maybe Ward returns the favor.
A little extra distance on tap here tonight as well. Normally it's a 99 lap contest. Here tonight 110 laps, so plus 11 in terms of the lap counter. And will that come into play with how these tires are wearing here at a very abrasive racetrack?
The good thing for the drivers is their pit stop came about halfway through the race, so you kind of got a rotation on that first set. Now you know what to expect more throughout the race as we get our first set of lap traffic here.
Jason Tuttero's got to get out of the way. He was up the track, down the track, and really bottlenecking a bunch of people, including Jake Crum. Almost allowed Brandon Ward to go on the attack.
That was almost a mess there. We almost saw a couple wrecked race cars. Good thing everybody got through clean, but it's also closed the field right back up.
Brandon Ward keep that car on the bottom of the racetrack. You see it on exit. Not as much right there in 4, but when he comes off of 2, depending on how he enters that corner, it just shoots up the racetrack. He slows down a little bit to try to keep it on the bottom that time by. Wow, is he sideways.
Really, really bad handling for the 04. Loose, that maybe that back tire not working the way he wants to. But with Danny Bone right behind him, you've got to be as mistake-free as possible, because if you get up above Bone, then you're just going to get freight trained by everybody behind.
Yeah, it was a lead battle on the left side of your screen, but Jake Crum is checked out. We're looking at the battle for second right there. And then behind that on the right side of your screen, just behind that, battles just behind the 25 car between the 40 of Carter McMurray, Ryan Newman, and Burt Myers is there as well. Myers in the Citrus 8 Grill Cleaners machine. Shout out to Tommy Lancaster and everybody that makes that product go here in America. Newman, a bobble right there. Big moment for Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man. Every driver will tell you, you get within the walls of Franklin County Speedway, they love this place. It is fast, it is racy. Right now, though, I think drivers are trying to hold on.
A lot of ill-handling race cars, but one that is not is Jake Crum, who's starting just to pull away from everybody else. And what you see, Brandon Ward struggling on handling, and that's allowing pretty much the rest of the top 10 to back up to this line.
McMurray trying the outside to in maneuver, but when he cuts down to try to go under Danny Bone, you see that car just kind of wiggle a little bit loose when he's trying to run down the racetrack. McMurray in the 40 having himself another very strong run. Second straight strong run for McMurray, currently in the 4th spot.
And that's what he needs. All you got to do is be consistent this season. Look at Burt Myers, for instance, running 6th right now. Haven't really said his name much, and that's why he's so far up in the points.
Under 10 laps to go for Jake Crum. Oh, man. Can you imagine Jake Crum in victory lane? The bad boy of the Smart Modified Tour doing good here today. He's got fans all over the Southeast. Some don't like him, and that's okay. Jake Crum wears that hat well.
In the brand new Batman paint scheme, too. Just everything could go right tonight.
A little slip up right there. Bone slowed down in front of McMurray. McMurray got high, and look at the left rear rotor on that car for the 40. Those brakes are glowing.
these night races are so cool because you get to see where their brake bias is on each car. And this is just a mess right now. Brandon Ward's holding these guys up so much. As you can see, Jake Crum has already opened that up to over a second lead.
Brandon Ward's got to be very gentle with the throttle because that car not handling well, and he's doing it in such a way that it's backing up the field, but he's going in protect mode right now to try to preserve that second spot.
And him going in protect mode has allowed Luke Baldwin to dive underneath Burt Myers for that 6th position, trying to gain up a position. And then you have McMurray on the outside of Danny Bone.
McMurray going for 3rd with the brakes a-glowing on the Bass Pro Shops 40. McMurray with a strong run. He'll get his way by the 25 of Danny Bone. McMurray up to 3rd.
Now Ryan Newman on the outside. So the Bass Pro Shop cars just following each other around. And Newman is going to make the move, and he's going to clear Danny Bone, it looks like, off of 2.
Next time by, it'll be 1 lap to go. White flag is now in the air for Jake Crum. Crum has tried for several years to win a Smart Modified Tour event, but finally the time has come. The Dark Knight, Jake Crum, will win his first Smart Modified Tour event in the Kinney Minter Classic.
This celebration from Crum is about to be awesome. He's worked so hard for the last couple of years, finally in his own equipment now, and he just runs away with it after passing the dominant Brandon Ward around lap 74, and then after that, just sets sail into the night. We're going to see a makeshift donut here by Crum as he drives up to the flag stand to grab that checkered flag to celebrate his first Smart Modified Tour win here at Franklin County. Doing the reverse victory lap. Waving the flag, saluting all the fans that came out here tonight to support these modifieds. With Crum on the backstretch, we'll run through the rest of the top 10 tonight. Brandon Ward, after dominating the first whole half of the race, loses the lead, but still comes away with a 2nd place finish, which is a great points day for that Kevin Powell team. 3rd place is going to be Carter McMurray, the young kid, 4th place at Wake, and now 3rd place here at Franklin County. So McMurray with a great run. And then Ryan Newman and Danny Bone round out that top 5. Luke Baldwin, Burt Myers, Jack Baldwin, Joey Braun, and James Savali round out that top 10. You can see Crum inside of that brand new race car. Brand new colors on the side. Went away from the orange to the green in honor of Batman, and we'll throw it down to Bob Dillner as Jake Crum gets ready to climb out.
There is going to be a lot of emotion in Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane tonight for Jake Crum. Justin Link down here, lots of hugs going on. Annabeth, Jake Crum's wife, leans in to congratulate her husband in Victory Lane for the first time with a Smart Modified Tour. Lots of blood, sweat, and tears, dedication, and passion go into this victory here tonight for Jake Crum.
Hold up.
Brandon Ward coming over, congratulating Jake Crum. Brandon Ward knows what it's like to win your first race with the Smart Modified Tour. And tonight, that's exactly what Jake Crum has done. The Dark Knight has arrived. Jake Crum, a winner in the Smart Modified Tour. The bad boy gets it done. Locally hated, but loved by so many as well. And tonight, that passion shines through. His wife Annabeth spraying him with champagne in Victory Lane. That's got a sting. Annabeth, not the best shot, by the way. Jake, I'm wondering if you can see right now, but congratulations to you. You're wearing the hat. You got the Dark Knight on the race car. Ups and downs. So much effort and dedication. What does this win mean to you?
It just means so much. First off, I got to thank the Lord for just watching over us always. Plenty of haters out there. We're locally hated. We're nationally hated. And too bad they have to sit back and watch this. But first off, I'm so sorry for Kyle Busch's family. I really wanted to say that. Hate it for his kids. Couldn't imagine what it would be like for my kids to grow up and not be able to be a part of it anymore. You know what I mean? Just so thankful. Everybody shipped in. Kim McCorkle, Scott McCorkle, my wife, Justin Link, Mount Airy Toyota, all the fans for showing up at a place that was a complete dump. This track's fun, man. First time I came here with Paul French. Shout out to Paul French for the motors. He's the one that got me in this thing. Him and David Lewis for the motor. Just it's a whole team effort. Just can't thank them enough. If it wasn't Paul French, I wouldn't be driving one of these badass modifieds. But finally, it's just it's come true. I started to get down on myself over the years, and it's been a long time coming. But it just makes it that much better. And I can hold my head high and say that I done it clean without running over somebody.
And you passed one of the best in the business for the lead, Brandon Ward. He walked over to your race car. What did he say to you, and what was that battle like?
He just said, congratulations. I've raced with Brandon for a really, really long time, back in the late model days, and he's always been a class act. But I didn't want to win it doing it dirty, because then I would give everybody something to talk about. But now I hope they're talking just as loud right now. But, no, it was a lot of fun racing Brandon. Like I said, I wanted to do it clean. If I couldn't do it clean, I wasn't going to do it. So hopefully this changes the perception that everybody thinks of me, and we can just move on to this one. And hopefully this is just many to come. Really, really do wish my kids were here tonight, though, to celebrate this. But I think this is a journey to a lot of wins, and hopefully the next one's with Annabeth.
Jake Crum, a true hard-nosed racer in the Smart Modified Tour. Annabeth Crum, you are here as well. And I saw once you went to that window and congratulated him, some tears in your eyes. What does this mean with all that you guys have been through?
Let me tell you, I can say this for a fact, there's not a driver out here that works on their stuff as hard as Jake does. He's in the shop every single day. Every single day. He's, him and Justin, and I told him, when we had the break, I just said, after Wake County, I said, we're going to regroup, and everybody in this shop believes in what we're doing here, whether it's on Jake's car or my car, every single person, and that's what makes a winning team. And we knew we were going to come back after the break stronger than ever and better than ever, and he is the most underrated talent, period. I'll say it 1,000 times. He's an amazing driver. He's an amazing husband. He's an amazing dad. And so it makes me, like, I can't help but to be emotional just because nobody deserves it in this pit area more than he does. Nobody.
And now you got some pressure on you. You got to go get yourself one as well.
Yeah, well, I feel like a little bit the pressure's off because we already won one tonight. But no, we're going to go out there and we're going to give it hell. And we got the best team in the pit area, period. So we're going to give it hell.
Annabeth Crum will be running the Carolina Crate Modified Series in just a little bit. Jake Crum still celebrating with Justin Link. Link has meant so much to this team. And we'll have Jake Crum come back over here because we have one more thing to do, Jake, and that is to pull a pill out of the hat. Thanks to Hoosier Racing Tire, a set of tires will go to the person that has finished in the number 4 spot. So the number 4 spot in this race will get a free set of Hoosier Racing tires, and Jake Crum will walk away with the Smarty Trophy manufactured by Johnston's for the first time in his career. Ryan Newman will get that free set of tires with Randy Renfro and that Bass Pro Shops ride. Crew chief and driver talking about what might have been here tonight. Second place tonight for you, Brandon Ward, but that car did not look the same after that pit stop.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Early on we had real good speed. Car was really good balance. And really after the pit stop, we were a little bit tight. I felt like good enough balance, but just went away on me. rear stagger and stuff just changed when we swapped tires and changed tires. And we've won some that way, and we've lost some that way. So it's part of the strategy, part of what goes on. But just can't thank Kevin Powell and Will Spa and all these KP Speed Motorsports guys enough. Really fast car again. We've had speed everywhere we've been this year. Win already this year, a couple poles, and racking up some seconds here. We need to get a couple more wins, and thought we were going to be able to do it tonight. This race meant a lot to us. Kenny Minter Jr. being on our team, and really wish he could have been here tonight. He's with our late model program. They're running the Cars Tour race this weekend at Langley. So, wanted to get this one, but we're close. We've been close in this race several times now, so we'll have to try to win it again next year.
Jay Crum in victory lane. He's both loved and hated by so many. But I saw you go up there and have a word with him in terms of him winning his first race. What did you tell him, Brandon?
Jake and I have been racing against each other, I think, since he was about 15 years old when we were back UARA late model stock car racing. And Jake's always ran me really good, and he did tonight. He was just better than us there at the end, and that made the difference. Congratulations to his team. Really good job. They've been fast for a long time now, too. So, like I say, congratulations to them, and we'll work this a little bit harder and come back here. I think, Callaway's next, so we'll try to win that one.
Brandon Ward's got one more to go this weekend. Tomorrow night, no, you're not.
No, because, like I said, we got our late model program racing at Langley for the Cars Tour race, and to be honest with you, trying to get 3 ready in 1 week was going to be pushing it. We've been working hard trying to get that program going better as well. Hopefully Brandon Pierce and those guys will have a good run tomorrow night there. So we're going to miss Bowman Gray tomorrow night, but we're probably going to pick up one of the Twin 50 races and then be back at the rest of the 100 lappers in the 150.
Well, good luck to Brandon Pierce and that Polaris off-road team tomorrow at Langley Speedway. You'll be able to see that C-Max Cars Tour event live on Flow Racing. How about the run for young Carter McMurray? That was pretty impressive. How much fun were you having behind the wheel of that race car?
Dude, I was having a blast. We got put behind in the first 10 laps or so, which sucked. But we had a really good long-run car in the first portion. Came in for the pit stop, and the car was really good. So it's a battle back to P3. I thought that was a valiant effort, but I got to thank Bass Pro, HendrickCars.com. We've been pretty fast all year, and I feel the win coming, but not tonight. But glad with the P3 effort and big gain in the point standings.
And you did it on the outside, the tough way around this place. How much do you love running Franklin County?
Dude, this track is a blast. It sucks that this could be the last race here. I've enjoyed the 3 races I've gotten to around here with the Smart Tour. But, yeah, it was really fun racing. I knew I had a decent car compared to the 2 in front of me. They're holding me up a little bit, but I did the best I could to get the couple of spots I could, and we got a P3.
Hey, and you beat the old man. What does that feel like?
I mean, it feels cool. I was thinking before I went to bed last night, like, imagine telling 3-year-old me or like younger me, you get to race dad in a modified, like a real race car when you're older. So I thought that was really cool to be able to do. Sucks he only made 11 laps? Not many. Yeah, it was super fun to be able to race him. I want to thank Hermie for giving him the opportunity to drive the car, and yeah, super fun weekend here at Franklin.
Hey, Jamie, are we going to see you back?
I hope you don't see my butt again.
Yeah. I heard about that, too. Hopefully we'll see J.B. McMurray back behind the wheel of a modified, but a great night for his son, Carter McMurray, here at Franklin County. And, folks, we've had such a fun time with the Smart Modified Tour. We got plenty of racing still to go here tonight. We got Stock 4s coming up. We got the Carolina Crate Modified Series. One of my favorite as well coming up, the Crown Vic Outlaw Super Series here at this lightning quick racetrack. But I want to leave everybody with this, and you heard several people talk about it throughout the broadcast here today. All of us in the racing world still hurting after what happened last week with Kyle Busch, the passing of one of the greatest drivers ever to sit behind the wheel of not just a NASCAR machine, but a lot of different race cars around America. Kyle, we are going to miss you. We are praying for your wife, Samantha, your kids, as well as your mom and dad, Tom and Gay, and your brother Kurt, and the rest of the family. It's definitely a tragedy and somebody that we will miss forever. We love Kyle Busch, and all of us here at Franklin County Speedway, definitely our thoughts and prayers go out to the Busch family.
When we come back to Franklin County, there's going to be more racing here on Flow Racing.
Welcome back to Flow Racing. Welcome back to Franklin County Speedway after we saw a great Smart Modified Tour finished. First career win for Jake Crum. We are getting ready to have our Stock 4 series here tonight. This is one of our local divisions, so we appreciate y'all supporting the local racing series. As we get a lineup here in just a second. And these are short pace laps, so we will get the 1 to go signal next time by. Starting in the first position, it will be the 51 of W.J. Altizer. Starting second, the 93 of T.J. Smith. Third is the 77 of Larry Smith. Mike Reed will start fourth in the number 89. In fifth, the 21 of Larry Altice. And in sixth, the number 71 of Ethan Trull. We are getting ready to get the 1 to go signal this time by here. We will double things up and get ready to turn them loose for 20 laps in the Stock 4s. Trey Cooper and Heather Fackler also round out the field as well. Okay. 2 by 2 into turns 1 and 2. Trey Cooper, Heather Fackler. Heather Fackler is in that number 95 That is a Lightning McQueen paint scheme. That is one of the beautiful paint schemes we see at this racetrack. Pace truck will duck to the safety of pit road. Trey Cooper on the bottom. Heather Fackler on top. Green flags in the air. Down to turn number 1. Trey Cooper gets a good jump. He is clear. The battle is for second and third. Looks like Mike Reed is going to go 3 wide. Trouble already. Trouble already. The 93 goes around. The 93 of T.J. Smith will go around, and looks like he'll try to gather it back up. And the caution is out. That did not take long at all. Mike Reed on the top tried to make it 3 wide in the third lane. And T.J. Smith just went for a spin. As we take a look at a replay here, the 93 or the 83 of T.J. Smith, it looks like he was loose, out of control, and Mike Reed on the high side made some contact with the outside wall. So we did not even make a lap. And Mike Reed is stuck in turns 3 and 4. So he's going to need a push from our safety vehicle. Trey Cooper got a good launch on the start. Cleared Heather Fackler into turn number 1. So it looks like Mike Reed is going to need a tow truck or just a push to get the car refired in turns 3 and 4. He is stopped in the middle of the racetrack. As the field will come behind the pace truck. So it is Trey Cooper, Heather Fackler, Ethan Trull, Larry Smith. That's the top 4. As we're under our first caution of the night here at Franklin County Speedway. While you're at it, now's a great time to visit our concession stands while you're here at the track. We got 2 below our tower here and 1 in turn number 2. So we're still waiting on a tow truck. Here comes a tow truck. That is a nice roofless tow truck on the back straightaway coming around. And it looks like Trey Cooper will head to the garage area. And here comes the tow truck. And looks like that Heather Fackler will get the race lead now, with Ethan Trull in second. Wow, it looks like the right front wheel, something's wrong with the right front. As the fireworks go off on the back straightaway. That is pretty cool. So coming to get, hopefully, the one to go. Yep, the one to go signal is about to be displayed. So we'll get the 1 to go signal from our chief starter this time by. Heather Fackler in that 95 Lightning McQueen paint scheme. WJ Altizer in second, TJ Smith third. As we get ready to come to the restart. Again, we've yet to complete a lap here. We'll try it again. The field slowly down the back straightaway. Pace truck will head to the safety of the pit lane. Heather Fackler, WJ Altizer, ready to go to the green flag. They are in the restart zone. Green flag goes back in the air. Heather Fackler trying to lean in the inside, but WJ Altizer, he clears on the top. Now it's the battle for second, maybe third. Here they come down the turns 3 and 4. WJ Altizer has a strong lead. Lap 1 complete. TJ Smith closing in to the back bumper of WJ Altizer. And here comes Heather Fackler to the bottom of TJ Smith. Battle for second. And now possibly the race lead at 3. Battle for the lead. Here comes TJ Smith on the high side. WJ Altizer on the low side. Now the battle is for second. Now TJ slides back. And no, he comes back. Battle for the lead. He tries to make the high side work. Now he does battle for the lead. Smith on the high side. Altizer on the low side. Now he clears him into turns 3 and 4. Now the battle is for second. Here comes Heather Fackler on the top. And Heather Fackler will clear Altizer out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. A few car length lead for TJ Smith. Here comes Heather Fackler. Closing in on the back bumper. TJ Smith. Good to soon have a strong customer for the race lead. 13 laps to go now. These drivers can diamond the corner pretty well in these cars. They can enter high and go low off exit. Smith is not getting away. Heather Fackler coming close. Ooh, almost tries to get a bumper to him. She is on the back bumper of Smith. Fackler trying every inch of this racetrack. Now she goes to the bottom, tries to make the bottom work. That doesn't work. 10 laps to go now. This is a great battle for position. Heather Fackler not even getting away from Smith. She is working the bottom so well, but Smith has better exit. Smith is making the high line work. Here comes Heather Fackler side by side down the front straightaway. Fackler making the bottom work. She clears Smith in the turns 2 and 3. Heather Fackler making the bottom work. 7 laps to go. But she's not getting away. Smith is making the high side work. Now Smith, will he try the bottom? Can he get back to Fackler? These two are not letting each other get away. Five laps to go. Fackler in the 95. Smith in the 93. They have pulled away from Altizer, who is in third. So this is going to be a great finish coming up. 4 laps to go. And Heather Fackler is not getting away from Smith. Three laps to go. Here comes Smith on the high side. He tries to make the high side work, but that doesn't. Here they come. 2 laps to go. They are coming up on the lap car, the 77 of Larry Smith. Will this play a factor for the race lead? White flag in the air one more time around. Heather Fackler, TJ Smith. Down the back straightaway. They are closing in on the lap car of Larry Smith. Turns 3 and 4. And Heather Fackler will win. Heather Fackler comes to get the checker flag. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Heather Fackler. Heather Fackler getting ready to come out of the car. She is out. Let her hear you, fans. Heather Fackler. Heather, you made every inch of the racetrack work. How did you do it?
Oh gosh, with that man right there in my ear. Thank goodness for my husband being in my ear. I was scared that I was gonna go over the time cap, but I did it.
That's awesome. What sponsors do you got to thank tonight?
I want to thank Daniel's Auto Glass, Chris Meeks, Pick and Pull, Cunningham's Tires, Kevin's Collision, Taylor's Enterprise, Wells Contractors, my husband and my youngin'. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here.
That's awesome. Everybody give it up for Heather Fackler. We'll go down here to TJ Smith. TJ, you were so close, battling every inch of the racetrack. What more did you need?
I needed a little better tires. These is a few years old, and they was giving out on me.
Yeah, but you made the every inch of the racetrack work. What sponsors you got to thank?
Law's Choice Distilleries, Daniel's Auto Glass, Ridgefield Electric, DeWood Automotive, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but you know, I'm in a tight spot right now.
Hey, you did it though. Good job.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's TJ Smith, came home in second. We'll go now to the third place, WJ Altizer. Man, that was a strong run. How'd you feel?
Oh, I had plenty of car left. I just didn't know if I had broken time. I couldn't hear on the receiver. So I thought those two for sure, as fast as I was going, I thought they had to have broken time. So I was just riding and hoping for the best because I didn't have anything in my rearview mirror. I want to thank all the fans for coming out today, everybody on Flow Racing watching. Thank you guys. We appreciate you guys. Flow Racing is awesome. It's one of the best things for the sport. I want to thank all my sponsors, Langley, Kim, for throwing this race for us. I got to thank the James River Drip. Those guys came on. They sponsored me on the hood here. I've got APA leagues here in Roanoke. It's a pool league. I play a lot of pool, so those guys took care of me. ATC Services, it's a defense contracting group. They're awesome people. I got DCT Trucking and Towing and Recovery. That's Darren Cochran. Thank you, Darren. I've owed you this for a long time, brother. I appreciate you. I got to thank Finish Line Performance, Finish Line Automotive. Tony Hausman had a lot to do with helping me and my dad get here. I want to thank my dad, my lovely girlfriend, and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I ran the number 7 because my hero died a couple days ago. I was a big Kyle Busch fan. The last race he ran was in the number 7 for Hendricks, and I really wanted to do something special for him today, and I tried. But those guys had racing wheels. One guy had half of a car. I mean, as far as stock 4 goes, this is the best stock 4 on the track today. Those other guys had a little bit of an advantage in practice, so I'd have kept the racing wheels and tires on. They'd have been chasing me. But we live and we learn.
That's awesome. That is a wonderful tribute to Kyle Busch. Ladies and gentlemen, we got more racing coming up on Flow Racing. We got the Carolina Crate Modifieds and Tim Packman with the call.
And we'll have plenty more racing coming up. Like you just said, the Carolina Crate Mods coming up, 60 laps of action. Plenty more coming from Franklin County Speedway. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Franklin County Speedway. Time for the Carolina Crate Modifieds. My name's Tim Packman. 62 laps of action coming to you tonight from this awesome track here in Callaway, Virginia. A full moon on a Friday night at Franklin County. Oh, here we go. Here is your starting lineup, starting from the back to the front in the number 62. From Danielsville, Georgia, Federico Motorsports, Frankie Waits, Inc. That'll be Joe Federico starting in 13th. The number 7. 07 from Concord, North Carolina, Hilger Racing. As far as sponsorship, it says still looking for one. That's what he told me before, and that's Jesse Hilger. In the number 17 from Stewart, Virginia, Steel Speed Shop, Thompson's Lawn Care, Top Gun Automotive Detailing. That is Devin Steele. Next will be the number 12 machine. That is, just saw her earlier in Victory Lane with her husband from Hyde Knight, North Carolina, KHM Racing. Liberty Buick GMC Trucks, that is Annabeth Crum. A lot of second places. Could this be the night she breaks into victory lane like her husband just did? Starting 10th in the number 01, Lincolnton, North Carolina, Brian Weber Racing. Torrance and Knox Bar Restaurant, that'll be Brian Weber. Next up in the 17S, William Dean Platinum, that is Dean Lambros. In the number 52, a last name you'll recognize when I say it in a second, from Statesville, North Carolina, B&N Racing LLC, Capital Power Sports, Lucas Oil, True Timber, that is Brooklyn Newman. You just watched your dad, Ryan Newman, in the Smart Modified Tour race. Next up in the number 84, from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Big B Coffee, local RE, buy, sell, invest, that is Ethan Truel. Starting next in the number 25, starting 4th, from China Grove, North Carolina, Wright Racing, Aunt Cindy, Aunt Marcia, those are the sponsors. That'll be Mitchell Wright. In the number 48, from Clyde, Texas, TPG Motorsports, TNT Plumbing, Rock Solid Auto Repair, that is Toby Grenowitz. In your front row, all of 12 years old, Sonic is the sponsor, Camden Truitt. Keep an eye on him, he was fastest in qualifying. And on the pole position, from Huntersville, North Carolina, FX Capera, Showtime Enterprises, Freedom Pool Services. You see him sometimes if you watch the podcast, Stacking Pennies, with Corey LaJoy. And if you watch indoor TQ Midget Racing up in the north during the wintertime, you're going to see him right here tonight. Ryan Flores will start on the pole position. Like we said, 62 laps of action to decide who's going to be the winner tonight. And also tonight, we'll get into this a little bit later, each person, each driver is carrying a fallen member of our services. Since we didn't race on Memorial Day, each driver is carrying a name, and also as in tribute, that was brought on by Dale Ogburn and the number 1 machine, who is rolling off tonight in the 10th position. Hot Shots Bar and Grill on that machine. In the 36th, starting with him, with Cody Norman. Here they come. Green flag goes in the air. Off they go into turns 1 and 2, side by side. But no, look at the number 15 launching off there, Ryan Flores. And they're jumbling back there. The number 48, Grinowitz, falls into the second spot. 1, 2, 3, single file style with the 84, Big B Coffee, Ethan Truel. Following up in that T2, currently running 4th, Sonic on the car, the 12-year-old driver of Camden Truitt. You see on your screen, you're watching home, you got Newman in the 52, Ogburn in the number 1, and the 17 of Devin Steele all running together right there. Both 17s. Also the 17S, that is Dean Lambros. So single file style for the top 10 right now. Your top 3 pulling away right now. Flores, though, coming under the grips of Grinowitz in the 48, and also falling in behind him is the number 84 and the Big B Coffee machine of Ethan Truel.
The 48 got loose in turns 3 and 4 just a few laps ago, but Ryan Flores, he's not getting away. It looks like there's about to be a 3-way battle for the lead as Ethan Truel is closing in.
Well, Grenowitz and then the 48, he's looked to the outside, he's looked to the inside, but right behind him, he's got a rear full of Ethan Truel and the number 84. As they're pulling away from the field right there, but look at the action back there. There's 3rd, 4th, and 5th are battling it out. Now that Brooklyn Newman has to the inside the number 17 S machine of Dean Lambros And Kevin Steele in front of him, as you see on your screen there, with the top three still pulling away. Now it looks like the number 25 of Mitchell Wright is going to try to distance himself. The 12-year-old Camden Truitt in the T2 caution is out. We have a slow one up on turns 3 and 4. That is the 48. Oh, look at that right front tire. That is not good. Toby Grinwitz was running in the top 3 right there. Something happened. We'll maybe catch on the replay. But that right front is it's not supposed to face that way.
No, not at all. Not at all. But that will move Ethan Truitt to second now.
Yeah, they'll bring up the now this will rebunch the field, so we'll see the top 3 we saw running earlier. Look at that. He at least got himself back to the pit area. Maybe everything takes some. Here comes the replay. For those of you watching at home, we appreciate you spending your Friday night with us here in Flow from Franklin County. So you see they're running first, second, third there. Grenowitz goes up. Oh, he did it to himself, tagged the wall, the right rear tag, and that brought the right front up in there, and you say rode up the wall. And that will definitely have an effect on your right front tire.
That sure will.
And suspension, and your shock, and everything, and your stagger.
Absolutely, and there, of course, there's some scrape marks on the wall now.
Well, we'll have them paint it later.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a great track, I'm telling you. I mean, it's the second time I've been here. And Franklin County Speedway here, it is, it's just unique. And we were talking, like, you go downhill on turn 1, and you go into, like, the low banking, then you race up, or then you race down, up into turn 3 and 4. And that higher banking up there, it's just a great facility. Great crowd here tonight. What an awesome showing. And congrats to the promoters and the staff of this track for putting on an event here tonight.
Absolutely. At night, this track gets fast in a hurry, and these drivers, they like to diamond the corner. You go enter the turn a different way and come out a different way.
Yeah, that high line up there in turns 3 and 4, if you can make it work. But so far we've seen all the races before this Smart Mod Tour, the low lines seem to be the best. Towards the end, you had some guys trying the high line, and they seem to be successful, but they might not have gone quick enough to do that. Let's see what we have here tonight. Now your front row is the 15 of Ryan Flores. Will stay out there in front. Outside now is the number 84 of Ethan Truitt. Mitchell Wright will fall into third. Camden Truitt to the outside for your first 2 rows. And the 17 of Steele and Lambros, the 17-17Fs, they're going to line up side by side to row 3. Let's see her watch your starter. Looking for the green flag. We got it. We are back underway here at Franklin County Speedway. Off they go diving into turns 1 and 2, still side by side, Nerf bar to Nerf bar, rim to rim. They go the top 2 rows. Flores, though, looks to be trying to take advantage, get back to rows before, but that 84 of Truitt isn't going to make it easy. But look at this. Here comes the 25 of Mitchell Wright looking to the inside.
And here comes Camden Truitt as well. They are getting single file now, but Flores not getting away from Ethan Truitt.
52 laps to go. That means 10 are down in the 62-lap Carolina Crate Mod feature. Be sure to give us a follow on social media and our website. Keep up with our schedule and all the great news that we have going on. In the meantime, though, it's Flores showing the way. Like we said earlier, he is an ace in the TQ Midgets indoor series up there, battling guys like Andy Jankowiak all the time. And he has shown his racing prowess. He's also a crew member, so he is ingrained in the racing scene quite a bit in many different capacities. But right now, he's got the number 84 still coming up on him, Ethan Truitt. Oh, he's right up on that back bumper.
And Ethan just ran our Stock 4 race just a few minutes ago, so he's pulling double duty tonight.
What a difference that must be to go to 4-cylinder to a 602.
Oh, much different. But hey, he seems to be loving it, and I think he'll be racing at Bowman Graydon tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's a full weekend of racing.
Sure is, and especially in a modified.
All right, so you see 1, 2, and 3 still there. Flores in the lead, the 84 of Truitt, followed by the number 25 of Mitchell Wright. So far, no one making a move. They're kind of just biding their time right there. Behind them, still single file. Now it looks like the T2 machine of Truitt's going to come under attack from the 17S of Lambros. So far, it's still single file style to come around. It'll be lap number 45 laps to go right here. So as you see at your screen there, it's Wright, Flores, Truitt, Lambros, Truitt, Ogburn, Grinowitz, Steele, Newman, Norman, Crum, Hilger, Weber, and Federico.
I'll tell you, Ethan Trull is not letting that 15 get away as we got a battle for position for the fifth position.
Yeah, there you are. Look at that. Look at. I'll tell you what. That T2 machine of Truitt isn't going to give it up, and the 17S there of Lambros is right there, just in case someone wants to make a mistake. He's going to try to take advantage. Keep an eye on Dale Ogburn there in the number 1 machine. He's moved up from 10th to 6th place already.
And like you said, Tim, they still got time. They don't have to make a move right now, but once it gets down to nail-biting time, someone's got to have to try something.
Get down to nail-biting time. Look at back there a little bit. Front looks like Brooklyn Newman in the 52. She's letting Ogburn know, hey, I'm right here, and my car's getting better. I'm liking it. We talked earlier in qualifying that she almost won this race last year here at this event, but she had a drive shaft break towards the end of the machine, giving the win to Brian Weber. Here we go. Looks like Ogburn and Steele battling for position. As we look back at the T2 again of Truitt and Lambro still going at it there. They have stayed glued to each other for about 10 laps now. That's the battle for 4th and 5th. 6th, 7th, and 8th is starting to catch them a little bit. Right behind us, they'll come up into the picture in just a second, and we are keeping an eye on how they are going to do. Ogburn now all over the number 17 of Steele, trying to make some racing room around them, and Brooklyn Newman right there behind them. Once again, another shot to Ogburn. Ogburn's won a few races for it with us this year. A known victor. Starting to spread out a little bit, first, second, and third. Like you said, we talked earlier, you got to make it 62 laps. You don't want to burn your tires up right away. Save your equipment to get to the end. And like, what'd you call it, nail-biting time? Then we'll see what happens then.
Absolutely. There's plenty of time to think about what move you're going to make when it gets down to that. But it looks like everyone's starting to spread out just a little bit there.
There's Truitt still taking on the number 17 of Lambros, 17S of Lambros. Still just riding along right there, right behind each other. And now we look at Steele in the 17. Ogburn coming into the picture right behind them. Look at this. Lambros trying to make that move, trying to work his way around the 12-year-old driver, 12 years old, driving a 602 crate modified. When I was 12 years old, I was playing with my Evel Knievel toys. I'm 61. I still might do it now, but I'm not going to talk about that. Just saying, you're 12 years old. That's amazing.
We're getting ready to come up on lap traffic here pretty soon. Brian Weber is going to be the first on the hit list as they're on the same straightaway now.
Yeah, they are. He's dialing. Weber won this event last year.
Will this play?
No, that's Jesse Hilger in the 07. Sorry, that's Jesse Hilger in the 07. Flores, and they had strict instructions. Weber was just passed. Right, Hilger is the next. So, and then they were told, drivers meeting said, lap cars, stay low, stay low, stay low. Let the leaders go around you. Don't try to be a hero and race them all of a sudden. You're about to be lapped. Let it happen.
And it looks like Ryan Flores, as he passes these lap cars, he is pulling away from Ethan Trull.
So Flores goes around Federico. And the 07 is not Jesse Hilger is not still kind of racing out there. He's in front of Flores. Flores will come up on him this time. Hilger staying to the low side. Flores doesn't want to get caught up in that. Have the other guys behind start to catch up to him, and that's exactly what you see happen here. While Flores is dealing with the lap traffic, here comes the number 84 of Ethan Trull.
I told you that might play a factor in these lap traffic. I tell you that some of these lap cars, they do not want to go a lap down. They're trying to stay on the lead lap, but it looks like Ryan Flores is starting to pull back away, though.
Yep, Flores is pulling away. It's Trull in the 84, now still running second. Now they have some racing room. Here comes Mitchell Wright in the 25. We'll go around the lap traffic of the 07 machine. And while they're dealing with that, Here comes the number T2 of Truett and Ogburn. Look at this. The 17, Lambros right up there behind Truett. And now here comes Steele in the 17. And the number 1 of Ogburn is right in there. Those 4 running together. That is all for position. Man, this is a great track.
Sure is. It does get racy once it gets down to nail biting time. Only 21 laps to go here.
So when does nail biting time start? You tell me. You're the guy that works there all the time. When would you say it is? I'll take your expert opinion when they start biting their nails.
I'll probably say with maybe 15 to 10 laps,
okay,
or less
right.
or so. It depends on what lap traffic they get into and who can get through lap traffic the best. Though that's what I always like to see.
Okay, well that's what we're going to find out. Laps are ticking now, 19 to go. Flores, man, this is his first time he's raced with us this year. He is checking out so far as we watch how the laps are going, but he still has the 84 machine of Truell not too far away. First and second have really distanced themselves away from the number 25 of Mitchell Wright.
Ryan Flores might be able to stack pennies here tonight if he can get through it.
Oh, well played. Golf clap. Well played. Nice. You clever man, you.
But it depends on how, if they could get to this lap traffic, though, they're almost maybe almost a straightaway and a half.
And on Flow Racing right now, you can see Steele, Ogburn, and Newman racing nose to tail, battling out for those positions. So far, no one's really made a big move to try to pass somebody. But now as we're coming down here,
trouble for Ethan Truell. He's slow.
Wow, coming off turn 2 slowed on the back stretch. Let's see if he can limp it around to the pit area. We are still under green. Truell, something happened there. Trying to see on the car. We can't visibly see anything.
No.
As he heads to the pit area. Wow, that changes the face of the race for him right there.
Yeah, that brings Mitchell Wright back to the second and Camden Truett to the third.
And it gives Flores even more racing room. He's got about a 20-car length away from Wright. Now Wright is falling under the grips of the T2 machine.
Oh, trouble!
Big.
Whoa!
Jeez, right up into the wall.
That is huge contact to the outside wall of Camden Truett, and the caution is out.
Oh, man, you saw we went diving down in there and turn 3, and he went in and they made contact.
Tell you what, less than 15 laps to go. Nail biting time now. That it looks like a problem with the
right front is peeled back. That guy is done for the night. 12 years old, man. He was starting to make a move coming on there. Here comes the replay. And the window net is down just before we go to replay. So he goes in there. He's up behind Wright. They go in there. They tap right there. He taps him. He went in there, tried to make the move and ended up getting into him. And the right front got affected, caused him to go up into the wall because he no longer had steering capability to keep the car under control. The window net's down. We see him moving around there. That is a good sign.
That sure is.
He'd be waiting for the tow truck, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, this changes things. Flores, who had a 20-car length lead out there, now has the entire field coming up behind him.
Oh, that disappears quickly. Now, the question is, will he get a great lunch on the restart like he did earlier?
Yep. I agree with that. And also, totally, here comes a Cars Tour schedule. We're going to pop up here. There's a tow truck you see making up. So look at this. Upcoming schedule for the Cars Tour. Langley Speedway, May 30th. Great place. That's tomorrow. Holy crap. And the Dominion Speedway. That is an awesome facility. We went there a few weeks ago. Coming up on June 13th. North Wilkesboro Speedway. Do I need to say anything about that?
No.
I just have to say North Wilkesboro Speedway. July 17th. See you there. Hickory Motor Speedway. August 8th. Dog Days of Summer starting right there. Anderson Motor Speedway, another awesome facility. Love that place. That's your Cars Tour coming up, and ZMAX Cars Tour. And if you can go. That's all I'm going to say. If you can't go to the show, you can watch it on Flow.
Absolutely. You can watch Flow anywhere. That's what I love about it. And also, shout out to Brandon Brown at South Boston Speedway as well. They got their race coming up. So shout out to them. And my buddy... Okay.
There's the Smart Modified Tour. You saw them earlier tonight. Always entertaining. Callaway Speedway, awesome little place, July 4th. There'll be some real fireworks there. Pulaski Motorsports Park, just down the road here a little bit, August 7th. Carteret County Speedway, off on the beach. If you can go make a weekend of it, do it. September 5th. September 12th, back to Callaway Speedway. Orange County Speedway, that's a big, wide-open facility up there in the Carolinas here. And so that's on September 19th. Once again, I recommend you go. I've been to all those tracks except Pulaski.
Yeah, Pulaski, it's a great track. I call it a mini Bristol. It has two pit lanes, one on the back stretch, one on the front stretch.
Okay.
And a pretty good, significant bacon
So
on
it's
there.
worth going and watching.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you can see there tough break for the 12-year-old driver of Truett there. I mean, he was making a move. It just he got in. We saw the touch with the bumper, and then he went in right front, and he just lost steering capability and ended up in the wall, and his night is done.
That is a tough break.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, Tim, this changes everything.
Stop. Check this out. I've been amazed by this all night.
A
topless tow truck. I walked in here earlier and I go, huh, am I seeing stuff? And and there's a topless tow truck. I mean, I think it's incredible.
Just when you think you've seen everything.
Yeah, you don't need air conditioning in that. You got 2 windows, 60 miles, it's called 260 air conditioning. 2 windows, you go 60 miles an hour, but you don't have a roof. So I'm just saying the aerodynamics of that machine is incredible.
Wow, that is I wish I had one of them now.
I know. Tonka didn't even make one of those.
Okay, Tonka, if you're listening, come on now.
But your smokestack has to be made of rubber. That's all I got to say. Not that cheap plastic stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but looks Camden Truett is getting an assist back to his garage his trailer.
Pedestal, yep. That Sonic machine, beautiful. It's a good looking car. Oh, look at that right front. Yeah. That's going to need some work.
That's going to need some.
You can see the crew looking at it going, oh boy, what do we do first? I highly recommend you drink a beer and then load that.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to need a lot of work before he gets into the trailer.
But, in short track racing, he'll have plenty of help.
Absolutely. Oh, and it looks like it's catching on fire, too.
We need a little bit of a fire extinguisher here.
Absolutely.
This guy just reaches in there. Let's get that out of there.
Yeah, let's get that out of there.
Must be some fluids that were coming down on the hot part.
Oh, boy.
Now putting itself out. Still, though, if it was me, I'd like to have a fire extinguisher there.
Absolutely, just in case. Safety first.
Yep, always. Safety always, yes, first.
And
safety first, speed second.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're under red flag conditions, so we can clear that car out of there. All right, while we're getting things sorted out here and unloading that car and getting the track back to ready, we're going to go to commercial here. You're watching Flow Racing.